Rain podcast.
Yes, sir. Mm. Mm. Mm.
We're gonna get a little bit of a peek. I don't know why my camera's not on. There we go. That was weird. We will be doing another giveaway. Another giveaway, not for a jersey this time. No. Possibly for something you may wear a little bit more, if I'm being honest. A very, very nice Ravens graphic tee. Charm City for episode 410. And it is for members only. But just because you're a member doesn't mean you're entered. You've got to be live in the chat when we announce our winner. And if you aren't, we'll just skip it. You know how it is. We have the big wheel, the wheel of members. Spins and spins and spins and spins and lands on somebody. And if they are not in the chat, they're not going to win. We'll give them probably about a minute to claim it, 30 seconds. If not, on to the next. So make sure you are here as a member and here live on next week's edition, Thursday edition, episode 410 of the Purple Rain podcast, and win this beautiful graphic tee. Sutton, take it away.
Yeah, man. Like you mentioned, I mean, you did a great job pitching it there for us. I mean, we got another giveaway, right? We're feeling very, we're feeling like Santa Claus here at PRP. We know we did the jersey giveaway recently for episode 400. Now we're giving away some more Ravens gear. The giveaways are not going to stop. They're here to stay, right? We want to reward people who watch our show and, of course, support our show. And this is one of the ways that we love to do it. So we appreciate you guys. And, of course, all of our members, make sure you tune in next Thursday for a chance to win some dope Ravens gear. But okay. Like you said, this is episode 408 of the Purple Rain podcast. Alex, I honestly forgot that Kyle Bowler wore number 8. And that kind of it shocked me a little bit. It kind of gave me some flashbacks, a little PTSD, to be honest with you, of the Kyle I should have been a Bowler days, but it's all good though, because nowadays in the modern era, we've got our boy Lamar Jackson rocking that number 8 and couldn't be happier about it. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, he has not been to OTAs this week. Alex, I have not asked you about this, but do you think it's a non-issue or what do you think is going on with that? Jesse Minter had came out and said, he knows when Lamar's going to be back. A couple of things were going on, but I mean, what's your take on it?
You answered it right there. The fact Jesse Minter addressed it, and I don't want to keep on bringing the ex-dictator, but we didn't have that type of communication. It was always sketchy, always shady. Could never really get a true answer out of him. And Jesse Minter kind of just got a hose, wiped it all off, cleaned it all off. He knows why. It's not a big deal. And he'll be back. So that was all I had to hear. I really could care less. He was there for the beginning, the voluntary, and not everybody's here this time. I mean, there's a whole handful of people that did not make this go around of OTAs. But I think we have 8 days, of OTAs. So we used 2 of them, so he'll be back for the other ones, and I'm not worried. I mean, I think the only people who are happy about this, to be honest, is the media. First take. First things first. That's not even a thing anymore. The mad dogs of the media, the Stephen A's of the media, they're happy about this. Could care less. Genuinely could care less. Not an issue.
Yeah, and I think that I said this earlier this week on Quiet Storm. I was saying that, asking a 2-time MVP, 3-time first team All Pro quarterback to be at every single voluntary OTA in the month of May, that's like asking Calais Campbell to practice 7 days a week during the season. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to happen. We got to remember Lamar Jackson is a 9-year veteran, right? He's been in this league almost 10 years. At what point do we start giving him the benefit of the doubt of, hey, yeah, he doesn't have to necessarily show up every single day in May? Would it be great? Cool. I said earlier this week, do I absolutely adore the fact that Lamar Jackson is not at OTAs with his new head coach, whole new coaching staff, rookies, new acquisitions, things like that? No, I don't adore it, but listen, I understand it. Like you mentioned, there's a lot of guys who missed OTAs earlier this week. Most namely, Rashad Bateman being one of those guys. Rashad Bateman is actually behind my shoulder here on my calendar for the month of May. It's Bateman month, right? And I've been talking about him a lot this month, but he's one of those guys who I was saying, like, I would think that Rashad Bateman would want to be there, at every turn, don't leave any stone unturned when you're on a bubble year like you are with Rashad Bateman with the Ravens. Maybe Rashad doesn't want to play for the Ravens anymore. Maybe he wants to go somewhere else and try his hand with a different offense. I totally would understand that, by the way. I would totally understand that for Bateman. We'll have to wait and see, but he was also one of the guys who did not show up to OTAs. Let's go ahead and take a look here at a little highlight reel of some OTA happenings here. And this is actually coming from footage from various Baltimore reporters. You can see the tags down there. Make sure you check those guys out. But this video was meshed together by our guy Simply AS10. Shout out to him as always, the GOAT video editor. Alex, as you were looking through some of these clips here from OTAs this week, what were some of your biggest takeaways?
Don't get me started. You know who I'm gonna say. It's that one clip that kind of did rounds on social media. It's Jacoby Lane. It really is.
See, you're becoming a Jacoby fanboy.
Not even that. I'm buying into the hype. I'm gonna buy into the hype. I'll probably get hurt by it, but I'll take it. He had the one clip, just stretched away from his body, made a good catch. Becoming a quarterback's friend. Doesn't have to throw it right at them, but they'll adjust their radius and they'll catch it. But getting away from that, honestly, one of the things you kind of talked about Bateman not being there, that list of players that isn't there. There's some guys where I'm like, you better have a really good reason of why you're not there. Guys like Adisa Isaac.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another guy. Listen, he's nothing but a Joey Bosa signing away, a Jadeveon Clowney signing away from you literally just not making this team, point blank, period. Right? So I mean, Adisa Isaac, who you've shown nothing in this league. And again, it's maybe guys have stuff going on. Of course, guys have lives, have families, things like that. I totally understand. But for somebody who's trying to quite literally keep their job, you would think that they would show up to every single OTA again, leaving no stone unturned. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to go through this list real quick, and the tight ends, they did stand out to me, but let me just go through this real quick. Here were the 11 Ravens that were missing for day 2. Lamar Jackson, Nnamdi Madubuike, Teddy Buchanan, Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey, Travis Jones, Rashad Bateman, Calais Campbell, Adisa Isaac, Chidobe Awuzie, John Jenkins, and Nick Dawkins. There's some real big polar bears in Texas for me right there. There's some real big ones.
Yeah.
I know we brought up Bateman, and I think he 100% should be there with the down year he had, with the uncertainty with him. Adisa Isaac, Nick Dawkins. Listen, personal stuff could happen. If I'm a guy, a UDFA like Dawkins, I think he'd be there, but I have to believe there's something going on. Adisa Isaac, you have very, very little to minimal game film. You get dropped, who's going to take a chance on you? At least with Ojabo, I know we love to poke fun. He has a couple of sacks, has a couple of forced fumbles. So maybe we can take him, and maybe he can give us some serviceable snaps, maybe special teams. But I'm like, come on, guys. Gotta do better there. But to the video, the tight ends, I think they're as good as advertised. Would love to see them in preseason. I think this is going to be a very interesting preseason. The joint practices, we're holding, 2 with the Vikings, 1 with the Commanders. We'll see a lot. Oh, Dawkins came later. Great. So Adisa Isaac, back to you. Not to pile on to the young fella. You're a third-round pick. The same third-round pick in Jacoby, and I'm bigging up, Emory Jones. Think about how much we've talked about him over the past couple of weeks. Maybe he can be a starting lineman. Third-round pick. Hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
But I just think it's really good to see the tight ends get involved. Say Flowers out there, 24 hours after he graduated from Boston College. And then this fun little activity, just competition. That we're throwing medicine balls back to each other.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, at the very end of practice, Jesse Minter wants to get the guys together, a little friendly competition that also brings them close together. This is like peak team sports. This is what you want, those hot summers, you can relate in soccer and stuff like that, football back in the day and stuff like that when you used to play. Yeah, team, this is what brought everybody closer together, man. Oop, let me go back.
Yeah, and then I kind of read more through the notes. One thing that wasn't shown to us was Tyler Loop. He went 6 for 6 on his field goals day 2. Good from 25, 33, 38, 43, 48, and 63 yards. Tyler Loop went. Yeah. Good things to see, obviously. Got to see it in a high-pressure situation, but I hope the young man's doing good mentally because, last year really could just leave a toll on him, But
that's what I was saying earlier this week too, Alex. I was saying that Tyler Loop, that missed kick against the Steelers was a blessing in disguise in so many ways. Number one, of course, the entire overhaul of the Ravens not front office, but coaching staff, got a new head coach, all that good stuff. But then also, you think about Tyler Loop and his mental, his psyche. You guys know I've been on the psychology wave a lot recently. Think about what happened, what was at stake in that Week 18 kick in the fourth quarter. It was win or go home. Literally, the season was on the line. What I'm saying here is Tyler Loop will never feel pressure greater than what he felt on that kick Week 18 against the Steelers. You could say, oh, but Sutton, what if the Ravens make the playoffs? What if they make it to a Super Bowl? He's asked to make a big kick. Still, the same thing applies. The season is on the line, right? The season is on the line. He'll go out there knowing that whether or not, it's all on him. It's all on his shoulders. So, and I said this time and time again last season, and even probably 365 days ago today, I was saying my main concern about Tyler Loop is when is he going to be put in a high pressure situation? He didn't get that all season in his rookie year. First time he got it was Week 18, season on the line. All right, kid, you're up. Everything comes to a head and it ends with you. That's a crazy amount of pressure, right? And I feel like he'll never feel any pressure greater than that. And the fact that he's booming kicks so far in OTAs, I get it. It's an OTAs. Again, guys are in shorts and helmets and things I get it, but it's promising so far. I'd love to hear that.
And you mentioned once again to get his biggest play came on the last play of the Ravens season. How ironic. The last singular play of the season is when he got his biggest play of the season, or his biggest moment. Blessing in disguise, really the only way I can describe it. See the receivers here going through. All new coaches, offensively, so we might see some different drills from what we saw in years prior. So that's always going to be fun to see things I'm looking at in training camp. What are the drills going to be like? What's different from this coaching regime? Yeah. You have guys like Surratt running through there. Then your 4 quarterbacks, 2 undrafted guys, and Skylar Thompson and Tyler Snoop Huntley. It's hard to really judge, but I have some more notes up here. I think Tez Walker has some pretty good reviews.
Yeah.
Now, not to go too far off on a tangent, but Robert Longerbeam is back as well. I think Bilal Kone shouldn't be too far back, so we have even more guys we kind of forgot about secondary-wise. That's just why I think this preseason, it's going to be just that much bigger. I don't think guys like Marlon Humphrey, guys like Woozy will play. Guys like Longerbeam, Kone, Chandler Rivers, Keon Martin, they'll all have big snap overhauls in the preseason.
Yeah, definitely. All the guys who Alex just listed a couple of minutes ago that weren't at OTAs this week, those are the same guys for the most part who won't be playing in the preseason at all. But most of these guys definitely will. Now you mentioned Tez Walker. His name's kind of been heating up a little bit recently in the Ravens space. I saw an article on the Ravens website earlier today, and I think he recently did an interview, I want to say, with somebody, and he was basically saying like how he wants to prove that he's a wide receiver that belongs out there every single play. And they kind of mentioned his stats from his last season, Alex. And last year, he had, what was it? I think 8 targets, 6 catches, 3 touchdowns, right? You got to think, if you get this guy, because really what he was a downfield threat, right? He really caught the defense sleeping when they're trying to cover Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers. And then, who's this Tez Walker guy? Who's number 81? By the time you know it, he slips behind the defense, and he's really good at that. He's really good at stacking his defender, the DB, making sure that he gets a good leverage on him. And he's got pretty good hands, too. He had one against the Cincinnati Bengals, right, Alex, on Thanksgiving that he dropped. Right, it would have been like a huge gain or something like that, but he dropped it. That was the only one play that you look at and kind of go like, damn, like I really wish he could have got that one, because we really would have been off to the races now with the Devontae Walker kind of agenda, right? But I think that he's going to be a guy who I don't want to necessarily say breaks out only because of the lack of opportunities and target share that I think he's going to get. Of course, there's too many mouths to feed right now. You got Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and then these, super exciting rookies. I don't. His opportunities are going to be few and far between, but much like an Adam Randall, I do think that I don't want to necessarily say like garbage time. Let's say the Ravens are up 10, 13, 14 points, something like that, 2 possessions on a bad team. Okay, the game's kind of over, but you still kind of got to throw the ball on 3rd and long. You know what I mean, Alex? Yeah. You're going to put Tez Walker in the game, and maybe then he kind of makes some plays there in that spot. So I'm excited to see what Tez Walker has. Of course, he's working towards being an actual staple on this roster and not just a guy who's just, it's Tez Walker. And but it doesn't make it any easier for him, certainly with the 2 new enticing rookies in Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt, who also look good here too.
Yeah, and you got to think he's obviously starting ahead of him. So right now he'd be our wide receiver 3, and Lane, Surratt 4 and 5, wherever you going to put them. I really don't care. That's where they're at, 4 and 5. But you think about the catches he had last year. I think the first one came against the Lions. No, he had the 2 touchdowns against the Browns. 2 targets, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. He had a deep ball against the Lions that was, we were fighting them. The game wasn't over then.
Yeah.
He had a long one against the Jets. Still a competitive game. You got to think about what's going on, Q. How you doing?
What up?
The last touchdown against the Steelers, 4th down. 4th and 5, 4th and 6, touchdown. And it's showing me that Lamar does trust him. It's just getting him on the field. And I saw they mentioned how Declan Doyle runs a lot of 11 personnel with the 3 wide receivers. So you got to think he's going to get more targets. But I just think it comes down to their trusting him.
Yeah.
If you don't trust him, they're going to go out and get a D-Hop. Like Keenan Allen. Those are the only 2 guys I can think. I can't even think of a signing. I don't think Tyreek or Stephon Diggs is on the table. If they do trust him, he goes in there receiver 3. If it doesn't work out, you have 2 rookies behind him he drafted. But I think they're going to stay with what they have now. They might add 1 veteran guy, but nowhere near to the name of a D-Hop or to a Keenan Allen. Remember when we signed, what was his name? Anthony Miller? A couple years ago. A guy like that. I don't think it'd be, he'd be lucky to make the team. If he makes the team, receiver 6 or maybe like a kickoff guy. Tez Walker, it's honestly his spot to lose. It really is. If he keeps on showing off strong, shows off in the preseason like he did last year, receiver 3 is his. It really is.
God's favorite in the chat says, I would not assume Tez is wide receiver 3 right now, just like I would not assume Bate is wide receiver 2 right now. Respectfully, brother, I got to disagree with you on this one, man. I mean, Bate, I think he is locked in at wide receiver 2, because if not him, who else? Right? It's not going to be a rookie. I'm sorry, but it's just not going to be that way. Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt, even if they do jump off the screen in training camp and in preseason, they're going to have to prove themselves, on Sundays, right? They're going to have to prove themselves on Sundays in order to get some more playing time and to be considered a wide receiver 2 behind Zay Flowers. As of right now, man, Bateman has showed us more than enough, in my opinion, in this league to be considered a comfortable wide receiver 2. He just needs more opportunities, more targets, right? The offensive line needs to block for Lamar better. So Rashad Bateman, when he's coming out of his breaks, he can actually expect the ball and not expect to look in the backfield and see Lamar Jackson dancing around, right? And trying to do this whole backyard football thing. We know Rashad Bateman likes to play on time. But he's definitely a wide receiver 2. Tez is the one where it's kind of like, you don't know. The wide receiver 3, like my guy Alex just mentioned, is kind of up for grabs. It could either be Tez, it can be Lane, Surratt, one of those guys. We'll see. Maybe they bring in a veteran. But yeah, I definitely would assume God's favorite that Rashad Bateman is wide receiver 2. Definitely. Real quick. Over 100 people watching live right now across all platforms. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode 408 of the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming through. Please be sure to like this video if you're watching on YouTube. And special shout out to the hashtag replay gang. That means you're watching this after the live stream. Special shout out to you. Our heart goes out to the replay gang. You guys keep things afloat. You guys keep the lights on here at PRP. So we appreciate you guys just as much as the live chat viewers. But yeah, leave your comments down below if you're part of the replay gang. Also, again, guys, want to make sure you guys remember, giveaway show next Thursday. Should be something pinned in the chat about that too. Okay, let's go ahead and move right along here, Alex. So we got some news yesterday.
Yes.
That there's actually a lot of news around the AFC North, as a matter of fact. And one of the biggest news stories that came out yesterday was the fact that Aaron Rodgers is actually going to retire, officially going to retire after this season. That's right. This is his last season. He announces it here.
I mean, I really appreciate the opportunity to come in last year and love my experience with him. And, I thought when he said he was stepping away, that was an emotional moment just because we all love him so much and care about him. And, I thought that that was probably it for me in Pittsburgh. But when the decision was made to hire Mike, I started opening my mind back up to coming back.
Could be your last year. Do you even think of that right now?
Yes.
All right, Alex. So you heard it there. Aaron Rodgers said, yes, for sure. This is going to be my last season playing football. I'm done after this, point blank, period. And he also did mention that, when Mike Tomlin was let go, he said that he didn't know if he was coming back. He didn't think he was. And then Mike McCarthy got hired. And he's like, oh, old friend, I'm open to it. And lo and behold, now he is going to run it back with the Steelers for one more year. Alex, what is your reaction to this?
Good riddance. Thank goodness. My other reaction is, where else would you go if it wasn't Pittsburgh? I'm looking around the league. Who's, for lack of better words, desperate enough to give you a starting quarterback position? Yeah, you got him to the playoffs last year. The numbers you put up were, You had your best games against a bottom-ranked defense in ours. But I'll be looking forward to playing them 2 times here, and hopefully we can beat them in both those games. Have us beating them in both of the games, I believe. So why not? Let's do it. But, bias aside, one of the most talented quarterbacks I think I've laid my eyes on. The throwing range, the throwing motion he has when he was, that peak in Green Bay, unbelievable.
Yeah.
The receivers he played with, the Jennings, the Jordy Nelsons, the Devontae Adams, those guys. Hell, Alan Lazard, he got him a whole lot of money. Got a lot of receivers paid. Mr. Aaron Rodgers did. Fantastic quarterback. He's
grade
up
A
there.
goofball, though.
Yes. I'm trying to keep it strictly football, but I had that in the back of my head. Don't know
You
what
can
really
throw it
flicked,
out there. It's all good.
Because he was really a cool dude. Like I like A-Rod, and something like flicked, and he just turned into like a goofball, like you said. Wasn't always like that. It felt like I always liked him for beating the Steelers in the Super Bowl. Hey, if you beat my rivals in the Super Bowl, you're good in my book. That's why the Rams always good in my book. But he just had that little flick, and it was really weird. But like I said, I can't deny the talent. One of the best, throw that pigskin around. But I'll remember him for the Packers, definitely not for the Steelers. And when he became a drama queen too, I think like 2020, post 2020, it got weird. It was always, is he gonna stay? Gonna get traded? It's like, dude, you're too old to be acting like this.
And see, this is why, and this may sound a little maybe pretentious, but this is why I personally prefer for quarterbacks of that stature, athletes of that stature, where you've been at the top of your game, right, for so long. What do we typically see with those athletes who been at the top of their game? They maybe reached the pinnacle of it maybe once or twice, but they've just been good for so long, but never really amounted to that, that many championships. The common denominator between those type of guys, the like we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, the Kevin Durant's, right? James, guys like that, right? I know I'm going across multiple sports. They're not family men. Okay.
Ooh.
These guys are in their 30s, going into their 40s, and they're still out here in these streets. That's the problem. Okay. That's the problem. They got too much time to think, right? Get you a wife, get you some kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually you got to grow up. You look at some of the best athletes, LeBron, Tom Brady, even though Tom Brady was divorced. Those guys, Stephen Curry, those guys are locked in because they have families that make them be locked in. After they leave the game, they have responsibilities to go home to. That keeps them focused, that keeps them driven. They don't have, the club. They don't have, all this. They don't have ayahuasca trips that they can just go on at a moment's notice. You know what I'm saying? Like, be a family man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That Aaron Rodgers would probably have at least 2-3 more rings if he had a wife. That's my hot take.
I didn't think of it that way, but when you bring that up, it's a good point. It's a really good point.
Yeah.
Be a family man. Go be a family man. Yeah. And he was keeping the one relationship secret. He's a weird dude. He's a really, really weird dude. Thinking of other quarterbacks like that, like I said, Tom Brady, it got bad for him when he went through the divorce. He wasn't playing that good with the Bucs. They were struggling to win games his final year. Got blown out by the Cowboys in his final game. He knew it was time to hang it up. Go be a family man. Go be a dad. Now look at him, living a pretty good life. Living a pretty damn good life. Part owner. You're now commentating, doing good things social media wise. Being a good dad. Go be a family man.
Exactly. And this happens all throughout, like, across industries, to be honest with you, Alex. Look at a guy like Drake. You know what I'm saying? Super successful rapper. He's been at the top of his game for about 15 years, but guess what? No wife. He got a kid, but no wife, not a family man. You know what I'm saying? But that's why he only's got that might explain the fact that he's only got like 3 or 4 Grammys in 15, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Compared to some of these other artists out here. I don't know. I'm just saying, Alex, I'm just yapping. Sorry about that. Go be a family man, right? That's my point. That's my thing today. Do with it what you will. Again, guys, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel as well as episode 408 of the Purple Rain podcast. Sticking with Aaron Rodgers for just a second here, because Alex, the title of the video says, can Aaron Rodgers win, or will he win the AFC North again? Because he sure did win it last year, right? And my guy, I know how you guys feel about Colin Cowherd, right? But he had a little take as to why this could be the one last ride type of year for Aaron Rodgers, where he gets it done.
Aaron's actually massively undervalued. So I want to remind everybody, especially the media that keeps telling me he's washed. He did win the AFC North last year over a stacked roster in Baltimore and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, who played a handful of games, but he did win the North. By the way, at 41, he almost threw as many touchdown passes as Bo Nix, Josh Allen, and Sam Darnold with an awful receiving core. In fact, Aaron was the only quarterback in the league with this stat line.
Okay.
At least 65% completion percentage, at least 24 touchdowns, and 7 or fewer interceptions.
Holy cherry pick.
Yeah.
Receiving core.
They stopped it there. They stopped at 24 and 7.
Right. Line and an average running back room.
What are we doing?
PFF last year went and rated all wide receivers and tight ends in the league, right? Top 50.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers had nobody. Arizona had 2. Okay, so you're talking about a broken offensive culture for years, a bad receiving room. I mean, I like Freiermuth, but whatever. They didn't have very good weapons. Offensive line until last year, Aaron gets some credit for this, was sort of disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
And so and he carried him to 10 wins. And by the way, he had to win games against the Lions and the Ravens to get into the playoffs, and he was excellent against both, considering what he was working with. Okay. Against Detroit, he had 270 yards, no turnovers. Against the Ravens, he had 290 yards and no turnovers. He had to win those games. Those are good teams. There was a lot of pressure. He had a one-man receiving core, and he won both games and played well. So, and people will say this, and this always happens. If the ending to the movie is bad, everybody said the movie is bad. Right? You could have had a good movie with a bad ending. People say, well, did you see him against the Texans in the playoffs? Folks, Patrick Mahomes played the Texans.
All right. Enough of you, Colin. Okay. Enough of you, Colin. Okay. So when you hear Colin's kind of soliloquy right there that he goes on about why Aaron Rodgers isn't washed, why he can potentially go out there and have this one last magical ride with him and his old buddy Mike McCarthy that he won a Super Bowl with all those years ago, What do you think about that?
I just pulled up his stats real quick.
Mhm.
His best games, like I said, you know who they were against?
Who's that?
284 and 294 yards. I think.
Oh, that's us. That's
The
us.
Ravens,
Yeah.
both games. His highest game with completion percentage against the Miami Dolphins. His other quality wins you want to say?
Mm.
They beat the Patriots. Patriots had 5 turnovers that game. The only way, once again, this team, Steelers team, will be good is the defense. They made some good defensive signings. I'm not going to sit here and act like they don't have a good defense. Offensively, I'm not too sure. Michael Pittman, good trade, not a bad receiver.
Still got
DK
Jalen
Metcalf.
Zacchaeus.
Jalen Zacchaeus has now went back-to-back years regression with yards. Went 992 in 2024 and 850 last year. Did miss a game. Or missed 2 games. He missed 2 games with the suspension, but that's his fault for.
They did draft Jeremy Bernard too.
But it just sounded like he was making excuses for Aaron Rodgers. Like, you're talking about who was throwing the receivers the ball? It's Aaron Rodgers. He had many times where he was throwing into the dirt, and he would just get mad at everybody else but himself.
Yeah, that's the thing. Dude does not want to get hit. If the play is not being developed, if it's not developing exactly how Aaron Rodgers wants it and expects it to develop in his head, he doesn't want anything to do with it. He'll throw it away, throw it into the dirt, whatever. Let's move on to the next down. Right? I'm 40-something years old. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not going to make chicken out of chicken shit. I'm just not going to do that. Right? Like, he just refuses to. Like, but younger quarterbacks, they extend plays. They do whatever they can. Aaron Rodgers just isn't that guy. And it's only, personally, I think, Alex, it's only a matter of time until the Steelers have an ugly loss where Aaron Rodgers is to blame because of maybe a late game interception or taking a sack at the wrong time, whatever it may look like. And you lose a game you're supposed to win. Let's just say that. And him and Mike McCarthy butt heads. Because Aaron Rodgers is not the type of quarterback to just go silently. Right? He's not going to capitulate to every demand of his head coach. Right? Aaron Rodgers, psychologically, looks at Mike McCarthy as his equal, I feel like, right? Not even as his coach. It's just like, hey, look, man, remember back in the day, we did it together, right? We won that Super Bowl. All right, let's do it again. Let's run it back. It's me and you. It's not necessarily, oh yeah, like, you're coach, I'm listening to you. I mean, of course, in practice, I'm sure he'll be cordial and things like that. But again, the moment that things start to go awry in Pittsburgh, I think there's going to be a lot of finger pointing. I feel like there's going to be a lot of rumors going around on, that locker room kind of being disgruntled. I could see it, Alex. I could. Now, he makes good points about, what he did last year against some of the good teams. But like you said, those wins seem like more quantity over quality. I agree with you.
The Lions, they were not a good team defensively last year. They weren't. I don't want to have to start this agenda, but I'm about to just give us some cold, hard facts. And I hate I have to bring this man up. Okay. I defend this man a lot. I do. He's not a Raven anymore. If we want to cherry pick stats for Aaron Rodgers, I'll cherry pick stats right now. This quarterback had more than half. He had half of the touchdowns that Aaron Rodgers threw, and he only started 5 games.
This is
Joe
last
Flacco.
season. Oh, Flacco, that's right, and beat him on Thursday Night Football head to head.
That was the only one. He went 1-5. Now they are quarterback. Wins are quarterback. You can judge him. I'm just going to here were the 5 games he lost. He lost 27-18. He won 33-31. Lost 39-38. Lost 47-42. Lost 34-12. Lost 26-20. There's 2 bad losses in there. But I see 2 losses in there where he put everything he could to win them those games. Why aren't we treating him like that? In 5 games, he put up 13 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here because Aaron Rodgers threw 24 touchdowns. He's not washed.
I'm about to say, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, they sure do got the same amount of Super Bowls, don't they?
Ooh!
When you
One
think
has
about
a lot
it,
less drama as well. A lot less.
Mm.
It was a problem Joe Flacco went to McDonald's after he got a big contract. It was a problem.
Yeah. I mean,
He should be doing more.
yeah, and like you mentioned, a lot less of a diva. I mean, I'm just saying, a lot cheaper too on the books. I'm just saying, if I'm a GM and I needed a quarterback, and right now today, let's say hypothetically, Aaron Rodgers did not sign with the Steelers, and A-Rod and Joe Flacco were sitting out there, and I know I'm a year away from another great quarterback draft, especially. No, I'll take a bridge year with Joe Flacco, right? Especially if I know that I don't have like a crazy good defense, like a championship defense or something like that, that's going to be my equalizer and get me to a Super Bowl, right? Give me Joe Flacco. Sounds like a much smoother bridge year than Aaron Rodgers to me.
I mean, I'm just looking at these stats right now. His first 4 games were awful. He played with the Browns. Got a win with the Browns over the Packers, funnily enough. It's what we're describing Joe Flacco is how the media describes Joe Burrow. Puts up the numbers, but the defense never helps him out.
Facts.
I never hear about Joe Burrow getting shut out by the Ravens last year. That goes washed. Wipe it under the bed. Put it under the bed. Stuff it under there. Don't let it come out. Don't let it come out.
Yeah.
We'll bring up Joe Burrow soon. It's just we're judging Aaron Rodgers based on what he did a long time ago. You can go back to the Jets. The Jets did everything to make this man happy. Everything. They got him Devontae Adams. You have Garrett Wilson. You have Allen Lazard. You have this guy, that guy. You had Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams 2 years ago. A damn good receiving duo. You didn't even sniff the playoffs. If we don't sweep them this year, we may not. That'd just be embarrassing.
It would be embarrassing.
We gotta humble this guy. We really do.
Yeah.
He ran a touchdown on us.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's nasty. That is nasty. Yeah, Jesse Mentor, I need you to handle that. And another thing, we mentioned it on a couple episodes ago when Pittsburgh played the Chargers. Aaron Rodgers didn't play so well, right? I think it was like November 9th, something like that. We talked about it. He didn't play so well, right? And Jesse Mentor shut down Aaron Rodgers with a lot lesser talent than what Jesse Mentor has now in Baltimore. So good luck, Aaron. Good luck. I think he's cooked. I think he's cooked personally. I do. But we'll see. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the chat and also in the comment section. Definitely leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking about Aaron Rodgers. Is he going to come back? I mean, what are we thinking? What's the Steelers win total? Do you know the Steelers win total, Alex? They're over under now that A-Rod's back officially.
8.5. It is 8.5. Exactly 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
Like I said, they have a very good defense. Jaquan Brisker, getting him. Deshaun Elliott's coming back. He played really good. TJ Watt, you know what you're going to get from him. Secondary is a little but their front 7 and back end, I think, and the safeties will carry.
They could be sneaky. They could be sneaky in the division. I definitely do concede that. But that's a really good line.
Shall we go through their schedule right now?
Yeah, let's just run through it real quick. Yeah, let's run through it.
Okay. Week 1 against the Falcons, 1:00.
Okay. I think that is a... You said in Atlanta or in Pittsburgh?
It's in Pittsburgh, for sure.
Ooh. Didn't they just get the Falcons? Didn't they just get who was it? Their coach, Stefanski, right?
Stefanski. Yep.
Yeah. Familiar. Give me the Falcons, man. Give me the Falcons in that one.
Okay.
I say the Steelers start off 0-1.
Okay, I can see him winning this, but I also see that too. Then they travel to Gillette and the Patriots week 2.
0-2 for me.
Then the Bengals at home week 3.
I say 1-2. I think they beat the Bengals.
They travel to Cleveland week 4.
2-2.
Home against the Colts week 5.
Close one, 3-2, and now the media is starting to really, really ride the Steelers hard. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is back, brother. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. 3-2, yeah.
Okay. Then you go to Tampa Bay to play the Bucks.
Really not as familiar with Tampa Bay. Speaking from the Steelers' perspective here, I'm going to say they dropped this one in Tampa Bay, 3-3.
Now they're 3-3. They have a 9:30 a.m. game week 7 in France against the Saints.
I think that they beat the Saints in France 4-3.
Come back home against the Browns week 8.
I think that they lose this one. The Browns watch film from the first game. Steelers 4-4.
4-4 going to the bye week 9.
Mhm.
Their first game after week 10 against the Bengals in Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati, granted health, I think that the Steelers dropped that one too. 4-5.
4-5. Remember that. 4-5. Now just get ready for this stretch of games. You're 4-5 week 11 at Philadelphia.
4-6.
You come home. Don't worry. You're back home finally against the Broncos.
4-7, man. Broncos, I got high hopes for them.
Black Friday game too, by the way. Okay.
Oof.
Cool. Maybe we can bounce back. End of season. Steelers Devil Magic. Week 13 Sunday Night Football. Houston Texans.
Yeah, tough luck. 4-8. Yeah, definitely
Okay,
not.
that's cool. Let's just win our last 5. Monday Night Football at Jacksonville.
I think that they win that one.
Okay. Got some momentum going.
5-8, yeah.
Here come the Jesse Minter-led Ravens in our stadium.
Wait, in Baltimore, right?
No, it's Steelers.
Oh, it's in Pittsburgh. I do think that we play the Steelers with an extra little vengeance this year, especially Lamar Jackson. So yeah, I think that the Steelers, they lose that one and ultimately get swept. So Yeah.
Then they have the Panthers at home.
I think that they win that one. And what would that be? 6-9, I think.
Yep. Then they travel to Tennessee and Baltimore the last 2 games.
Win in Tennessee 7-9, and then lose to Baltimore 7-10. 7-10 on the season for me.
That stretch after the bye: Bengals, Eagles, Broncos, Texans, Jags, Ravens.
Yikes!
If you can make out there with 3 wins, that's a success. But I don't think that happens.
Yeah.
So
a lot of defenses in there that are just really going to give Aaron Rodgers a run for his money. You know,
that stretch: Eagles, Broncos, Texans. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah. So
That's gonna be
when's
tough.
Will Howard coming? When's Drew Adler starting? When's Mason getting this?
Man, depends if Aaron Rodgers' body can hold up. I'm surprised he held up for the most part last year. I know he had the wrist thing going on, but I was surprised he remained upright. Maybe that's by way of him, again, dirting a lot of footballs when things aren't going his way because he doesn't want to get hit. He refuses to get hit. But we'll see. We shall see. Total 10 Speed says we're going to be resting our starters during the second Steelers matchup. That's the only reason we won't sweep them. I
just say the Steelers start theirs. If what you said is right, if they're 7-9 going in that game, there's no playoffs for them.
Yeah. I'm also low key, Alex, expecting, especially like I said, barring I words, if everybody stays healthy, I think that the Bengals could actually be really good in this division. You know, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough competing in the AFC North with, you know, Lamar and Browns have a good defense, but I think the Bengals were only a defense away from being legitimate competitors, right? And they kind of did shore up their defense this year with, you know, Jonathan Allen and Boye Mafe, Sexy Dexy, all those guys, right? So I can see the Bengals kind of jousting for position right there with the Ravens for the division winner. So I don't know if that game in Week 18 is going to be super inconsequential, right? Because I do expect the Bengals to be contenders this year. I do expect that. So we'll see. Speaking of the Bengals, Alex,
yes,
you had our guy Joe Burrow. Well, not our guy, their guy, Joe Burrow.
Your guy.
Low key. You know, I love me some Joe Burrow, but you know, neither here nor there. Joe Burrow was talking about to the Bengals media Trey Hendrickson and what he thought about him going to Baltimore. Let's take a listen.
It'll definitely be fun. What'd
you think when you saw the news that he was signing there?
Not very surprising.
Why is that?
Because I know Trey. I love Trey, and I just know how he operates.
All right, and you see the Bengals media got a good laugh out of that. Normally, when the media laughs at a response from a subject, interviewee, if you will. They know that's because they know they have something good. They know that they have something that they can put on wax, they can put online. It's going to go viral. And boy, did this go viral yesterday, Alex. I mean, basically saying there, I mean, Trey Hendrickson, I love him. He had to preface it by saying, look, I love Trey, but I know how he operates, right? He's a vengeful guy. I think that's what he was saying. He's a vengeful guy. He's low key, maybe even a traitor, right? He's just that type of guy. Like, he will turn his back on you, stab you in the back if he gets the opportunity to do it. That's what I got from Joe Burrow saying that. But what did you take from it?
Yeah. It's very funny because you're playing for an organization where all the star players have held out. Jamar, T, Asmodeus. Another month. 13.
Yes, sir. 13 months.
Thank you, sir. Joe Burrow softer than McDonald's McFlurry on a Florida summer day. Ravens are going to destroy this division. A McDonald's McFlurry on a Florida. I've never had that on a Florida summer day.
Yeah, I mean, it would be completely, melted.
Is the machine working?
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. That's the first question.
Is Joe Burrow playing?
Talk about it.
Now, see, why does he get a pass? He gets a pass. He has more Met Gala appearances than playoff appearances.
Oh, man, I love when you do that. That's hilarious. Oh, Mad Rasta with the Super Chat donation. Appreciate you, brother. Says Bengals have the loudest fan base that never won. Yeah, them and the Bills, right? Them in Buffalo.
Man, Bengals fans are stuck in 2021. They are stuck. Like, they're that fan base where, like, they peaked in high school and they can never stop talking about it.
Yeah.
I still see clips of that year. Bro, Devonta Freeman was our running back. It's time to move on.
Right. No, I mean, like, you got to think, because we've never experienced this as Ravens fans, right? Making it to a Super Bowl and losing that Super Bowl and then not getting back. Like, it'd be like, can you imagine if in 2012 we lost to the 49ers, right? And we never made it back? Oh my goodness. Like, Alex, I don't even know if we would have this podcast today, to be honest with you. I feel like our lives would be different, to be honest with you. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it must suck. Like, you hit the nail on the head. It's like you peaked in high school, right? And then you're coming back around. You're like, hey, you remember that time? Yeah, I used to be that guy who was on the field and under the bright lights and things like that. Like, it's just cringe. It's very, very cringe. And I see it a lot online from Bengals fans.
But now going back to Joe Burrow, talking about Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
He played on a franchise tag. Got hurt. Missed a lot of games. And you know him because he went to the Ravens? Like, he didn't get paid 4 years, 100 and some million? Let's not act like you're not the next one out, Joe. You keep on getting hurt. You underperformed this year.
Yeah.
They won't pay you. Hey, listen. I was learn from your history. What I remember is their best ever franchise quarterback before you retired early because he hated playing for the Bengals. And you're next. I'm going to leave it at that. So maybe traded the right thing. Time will tell. But when you're on the ground and see Mr. Trace doing one of these,
yeah,
you can laugh then.
And he's waiting. He is itching, Trey Hendrickson, to get after Joe Burrow. I mean, that first sack that he gets on Joe Burrow, because he's going to get one. Like, that's he's going to get one. It's going to hit like crack in the 80s, bro. I cannot wait. I'm sure you're going to be chopping it up for your highlight channel. Yeah, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. I can't wait to see Trey Hendrickson. We're not even talking about Trey Hendrickson as much anymore. The hype around him has died down, but like, that's quite literally, the Ravens' biggest acquisition this entire season. More so than Jesse Minter, more so than Venga Ioane, more so than Jalen Hawkins, more so than Jacoby. Anybody, right? A premium position, edge rusher. We have that. We have a top 5 edge rusher in the league now. So no longer are the days, at least presumably, we'll have to see what happens on Sundays come August and September. But no longer are the days where the Ravens are going to be going into fourth quarters with 15-point leads, 20-point leads, and getting walked down because they can't pressure the quarterback. Those days are over. So can't wait to see Trey Hendrickson in action. Joe Burrow's only feeding fuel to the fire, baby. Only feeding fuel to the fire. And I cannot wait to see him perform on Sundays, man.
We do have some quarterback news that just came out.
Oh, really?
An agreement. Yes, reigning NFL MVP Matthew Stafford and the Rams reached an agreement on a 1-year, $55 million extension worth up to $60 million with incentives. He now has 2 years and up to $105 million remaining on his deal with the Los Angeles Rams. Good for him. Reigning MVP.
Yeah.
2 years, $105 million. Surely, man, he'll be throwing that new first round receiver they took, right? Maybe getting some time from that first round lineman they took.
Interesting. You know something here, Alex? And real quick, we have a super chat donation from Mad Ross, so let's take a listen.
AFC North as a division, sad to say, has fell off, so I'm not concerned about anyone in this division. Lamar has multiple injuries and missed playoffs by a shanked kick. No expectations for this season.
Great point. Kind of going back to what Colin Coward was talking about, a division with Lamar Jackson, like Lamar Jackson didn't miss some games. A couple of them. And choosing his
That's true.
once again.
That's true. I mean, because it's like you also think about things like we had one of the worst offensive lines last season, yet Derrick Henry finished second in rushing yards, right? Like that, little things like that. The fact that, we were a shanked kick away from going to the playoffs in such a down, disgusting, putrid year that we had last year. And yes, I will use those adjectives to describe it as that because that's what it was. I was going into Sundays expecting the Ravens to lose. Never have I done that in the Lamar Jackson era, but that's what it was, right? And well, do you have a rebuttal for that?
Losing the turnover battle throughout the year?
Yeah, losing the turnover battle throughout the year. The turnover differential was horrible, right, for the Ravens. I think bottom 5 in the league. So, yeah, they overcame a lot of odds in a lot of ways. So I can see if they have a more, a better roster, pound for pound, which I believe they do. If they do have a fresher perspective on things now and getting rid of the baggage because of Harbaugh, which I think that they have. Yeah, I think that the Ravens should win this division. It's part of the reason why I picked them to win 15, 16 games next year. I just think that the Bengals were putting up damn near 30 a game last year. They just didn't have the defense. You got to remember, they still have the best receiver in the league in Jamar Chase. In my personal opinion, Chase is still the best receiver in the league. And they've got T. Higgins, who ain't too far behind him, right? So, and then, of course, Joe Burrow ties it all together. Who's their running back again right now?
Chase Brown. Good year last year.
Yeah, could upgrade though. Not gonna lie.
I like Yoshi Voss as a 3. I do like him.
Yeah. We'll have to see, man. They've proven to be able to put up points. That's not their issue. It's just the fact that they can't stop anybody, but they got the pieces to do that. So we'll see what they do here this year. But thank you so much, Mad Roston, making it rain here with the 10-piece on this episode 408 of PRP. Real quick, clap it up for Mad Rosta. Our guy doing his thing, supporting the channel. Let me see what else we got. Something that voiceover for Rosta was crazy. Pause. That was Ruth. That was Ruth. You gotta chill on Ruth. Man. All right, Alex, I gotta show you something because you just told me that Matthew Stafford just signed for $55 million to play football this year, right? Let's take a look at the current quarterback contracts, and the average salary over here is what I want you guys to pay attention to. As you might notice here, $55 million is right on the nose of what the guys like Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen are making this year. And still above all of those quarterbacks is Dak Prescott, who's set to make $60 million this year. Alex, just give me your take on all of this.
I see the if man above Lamar. I see the game managers, couple of them. I see a backup above Lamar. I see a guy that's more known for his hair than his football play above Lamar.
Shots at
Eric,
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, got that one. Eric, just get it done. I mean, get it done.
I mean, the more and more that I look at this, Alex, I mean, the main takeaway for me, the thing that's most shocking and jarring to me is the fact that Dak Prescott still remains the king of quarterback average salary per year. You know, I get it. He plays for the Cowboys, one of the, if not the biggest sports franchise in America. Some might say the world. It's literally that big. But still $60 million. I would assume that Lamar Jackson is going to sign his extension next season. And I would assume that that salary is going to trump Dak Prescott's by maybe only like $2 million. I think that they maybe give Lamar Jackson, he agrees to $62 million per. But man, the fact that Matthew Stafford's coming back and playing for 55 this year, I guess, I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, you hope he's healthy throughout the year. You know, he went into the season with that whole back issue, even though he ended up being okay, but he's only gotten a year older, right? You don't know what might pop up this year. And the fact that you've already penciled him in for $55 million for this season, I mean, I guess you got a little bit of insurance in Ty Simpson that's behind him. Hey, if Matthew Stafford goes down, then yeah, we'll pay him his money, but we'll just see what the new kid has, right? I mean, is that how you think they're thinking about it?
100%. And you got to think about, well, you throw Ty Simpson in there, throwing a Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. That's not two receivers that, you know, you're going to get mad at throwing the ball to. Then you have Kyron and Blake Corum behind him, a good O-line. Why not? Why not? But it's rewarding your guy who's gotten you a Super Bowl, rewarding your guy who won his first MVP last year. And they were a muff punt away, in my opinion, from being in the Super Bowl. They had a chance to, I believe, go up on the Seahawks, and their punt returner muffed it. Seahawks get the ball deep in their territory. So good for Matt Stafford. You know, keep on getting your money. I know the Super Bowl is back in SoFi this year, so he's going to hope to go 2 for 2 on the Super Bowls that are in SoFi. So congrats. Worth it. But hopefully he can play up that level again. But they do have some insurance this time with Ty Simpson. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, how that works out. You know, if these are his final 2 years, Matt Stafford, you got to think, like you said, the way he's been banged up, I don't think he'll go, you know, anymore after these 2 years. I think you can ride out, to try to go out healthy. You know, go out when you want to, not when doctors tell you it's time to go out. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, always better when these guys can go out on their own terms, right, Alex? So totally agree with you there. Let's see here. So we got one more thing that we need to discuss here. Actually, two more little things that we need to discuss here on this episode 408 of PRP. Please, guys, if you have not already, please leave a like. That's right. A thumbs up on this video goes a very long way. Right. So if you've not done that yet, please consider doing so because it helps us out an absolute ton. Right. An absolute ton. But here's the last thing. Again, we mentioned earlier this episode, there's a lot going on in the AFC North specifically this week. Here is a video that came out today.
Just for the
Todd Monken talking about how he has never met Myles Garrett.
record, have you had any face-to-face with Garrett yet?
Myles?
Yeah.
No.
Some of those.
Just cut and dry right there. I mean, Todd Monken, and he looks around like, that was a stupid question. Anybody else got anything else? Like, why is that? Why does he look so pissed? Like, let me play it one more time. He looks so pissed after he gets asked that.
I'm not.
Just for the record, have you had any face-to-face with Garrett yet?
Myles?
Yeah.
Myles? The best player on the team? Why would I have talked to the best player on the team? What kind of question is that? I've only been the coach for 2 months. Like, what is that? Like, and he looks pissed about it, like, genuinely. Like, what do you take from that, Alex?
He looks like Big Bird, like just looking around. Just that's the first thing that came to my head. Is like he just looks like him. The way his head shaped. Why would you talk to a generational edge rusher, the best in the league, a top player in the league? Why would you talk to him? A guy that's requested to trade out of there, a guy that wants to win. Why would you?
Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all.
And the only thing this does is fire up the rumors that he wants to leave. There was that small contract, little negotiation thing where like he maybe could get traded. I know you remember. I saw that on Twitter. I don't know if you did. They were speculating whether or not he get traded. This does nothing but add fuel to the fire. Man, he went to the John Harbaugh School of just PR. He is a graduate. Somehow, when you can just clear the air, you make things that much worse. Yeah, come on, Todd. I'm rooting for you, but come on, man. You could have said, "Great guy. Can't wait to see him on Sundays." But that's what we went with.
That's what we went with. I mean, you know what's going to be so interesting? The fact that he's a head coach now, and we get to get this. We get this every week now. We get this every week. And I know we're not Browns fans, so we're not going to be paying too close attention when the season rolls around. We're going to be paying attention to Jesse Minter. Going to have a really close magnifying glass on him. But it is going to be fun to peek over the fence from time to time and see what Todd Monken is saying, you know, because he's going to have a lot of hilarious outtakes, right? You're going to be able to make one of those like Todd Monken core videos by the end of the season. Promise you that. He's going to give you a lot of sound bites, a lot of clips. But yeah, so that was that. Just a little something slight there. Alex, one more thing before we wrap up here.
I got one more thing too. One more thing.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
About this time next week, we'll have the wheel up.
Yeah.
The wheel of members.
Yes.
We're giving away a Ravens Charm City graphic tee. Episode 410. You have got to be in stream for it.
Yeah.
Right there on the screen. Men or women's.
Yeah.
So for the women, for the ladies, you can always cut it, crop it. Could be a good look. Not a fashion expert, but could be a good look. You've got to be in the stream when we announce the winner. That is the only way we'll do it. If you are selected and not in stream within about, give you a minute grace period, you have to move on. So just has it around.
Spin it again.
7 days this time. The wheel will be spun. Remember that. But yes, episode 410 giveaway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You heard it there first, folks. Episode 410 giveaway. Get hip or get lost. Appreciate you guys for supporting the channel as always. Got to give back. But okay. Last little thing, Alex, I told you about it before we went live here. This was some news that came out, I think, late last week, maybe early this week. The NFL is obviously, we've seen the schedule. They're moving into more international games. They've already confirmed that I think they're going to be in Japan and maybe some more countries and things like that in the future here coming soon. And they're going to be playing games on more days of the week. Alex, I wanted to get your take on more football throughout the week. Because when I was growing up, back in my day, you had Sunday football, which they dominated. The NFL just dominated Sunday. And then you get Monday Night Football, right? You didn't even get Thursday Night Football until like week 12, week 13, right? And you definitely never got any Saturday football unless it was playoffs. So now that we're getting football on Wednesday now, we're getting football on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. What do you think about it? Do you think it kind of dilutes the product a little bit? Because I think one of the big allures of the NFL is the fact that they own Sunday, right? On Sunday, you're going to be able to watch all the games, sit back, relax. And throughout the week, you can kind of chew on what you just watched on Sunday because there's just so much to kind of digest, right? But now that there's going to be a game on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursdays, what do you think about all that?
Yes. I'm trying to get that ready for this. I couldn't agree with you more. I could not agree with you more. And I gave it a pass in 2020 when games got delayed for reasons that we may never see again in our lifetime, and I pray we never see again in our lifetime. Mm-hmm. For guys getting ill, for guys getting infected. So yeah, we had a game on Tuesday. We had the Titans and Chiefs, I believe, play on a Tuesday. We had the Ravens and the Steelers play on a random Wednesday on December 2nd, 2020. Remember that game. We had RG3 playing. But that was for special reasons. This, for pure monetary reasons, I don't like it at all. I liked when, like you said, Thursday night games. I remember they were the Color Rush Thursdays. You hop in front of your screen, both teams wear their Color Rush uniforms. We're on CBS, I think, with Nance and Romo.
Yeah.
To me, that gave Thursday night games a little bit of life. Now, I'm probably asleep by halftime for most of the Thursday night games. It's a very bad product. It's sloppy. The first half is always like 10-3, 3-3. Al Michaels is half asleep in the booth. Kirk Herbstreit's fighting for his life to keep you entertained. And then now have Wednesdays. I get a Black Friday, with the whole Thanksgiving theme. Then do the Christmas. They kind of snatched the NBA's chain with that, which viewership has shown. But to add the Wednesdays, to add these extra days, I'm not a fan. I'm really not. I love football, but it just feels like an oversaturation. Give us time to digest it. You're feeding us too much. Now we have heartburn. We have really bad heartburn. So just calm down just for a little bit, please.
Exactly. Yeah, we get heartburn. We get stomach aches. We don't want anymore. We got to put it down for a little bit, It gets overwhelming at a point. And I think that them kind of trying to switch to and dominate, you mentioned the NBA, it seems like they're kind of trying to switch to the NBA model where they do have games every single day of the week, right? And it's only a matter of time. I tweeted this. This is like far out there, Alex, I think. But I still think it's only a matter of time. I give it like maybe 15, 20 years until the NFL actually launches an official international league, right? Where you have other countries who have actual teams that are underneath the NFL shield, right? Under the NFL umbrella. Maybe they coin it WFL, like the World Football League or something like that, which maybe might clash with soccer. I'm not sure exactly, but I think that could be a thing. It could be a thing, especially if they're trying to get into Japan, and then what's next after that? Are they going to go to India? Are they going to go to? They're already doing stuff in South America, so it's just like we are on a fast track to getting more football on more days of the week, but also a fast track to really globalizing this game, because we're only a year away from the Olympics, right? The next year is going to be the first year that they have flag football, actual flag football. The NFL was promoting the hell out of this just about a year ago. I remember Jalen Hurts was on the commercial and everything, So once the world sees flag football, I think the fact that I feel like, okay, so look, Alex, I feel like what may turn a lot of people off in the world to the sport of American football is the physicality of it, right? So if the world sees football played without the physicality, but with flag, and it's basically just all like, agility and elusiveness and speed and skill players catching and throwing and stuff like that, you're going to have a lot of countries who start to gain interest in that sport. I truly believe that, because it kind of mimics, some other sports. I mean, in some ways, soccer, there's a big field. You're trying to get from one end to the other, there's other they're not really coming to mind right now, but you guys get what I mean here. I know you're picking up what I'm putting down. They are going to like football once it gets on the international Olympic scale, right? But what do you think about that?
I think in other similarities, they're just trying to find a way to exploit a defense, much like soccer. Different tactics. Those who like the game tactically, they can love football. You think about tactics in football, the different formations. I can bring all, like, if I'm and somebody overseas watching the game, I can bring in all these big guys and just run at the smaller guys and make big holes. Kind of how I believe they might be watching the first time. And I can bring these fast guys on the field and they can just dart past, or they can, have the defense looking lost, much like in soccer, where you can have a real pacey striker up top and there can be slow defenders. Play him on side, he's throwing goal, nobody's catching him. Very
Yeah.
similar, it's different games, but similar points of interest. I could see it, and the Olympics would just help out his case. I
Yeah.
think it has the potential to just help it out more than for it to bust. I don't think it'll bust at all. I
Yeah,
think
no,
flag football definitely be over there real quick.
I agree. You're going to have people around the world who are falling in love with the game of American football for the first time. And, like when you really start to kind of figure out all the chess pieces, like you mentioned, like, oh, the big guys, they block in the middle for the small guy who drops back and throws the ball to another small guy. And maybe if I use this strategy and put this guy over here and put that guy and use this guy in motion. Oh, is that allowed? Oh, it is. Cool. Well, why aren't people doing this? Why aren't they moving the running back over here? And people are going to fall in love with the game of football. And I feel like it's going to, again, get globalized. Eventually, you're going to start getting international interest from teams and stuff like that. And the NFL, they've got the money. That's the big kicker about it all. Like, they've got the money to fund a lot of this stuff. They've got the money to go into other countries and instill programs and schools that teach American football and things like that. So I think we're only maybe, again, 15, 20 years away from actually seeing a World Football League, a WFL, if you will. And to be honest with you, I'm all for it, because I would love to see, personally, I would love to see like a quarterback from Japan or Mexico or wherever, you know what I mean? And that'd be their natural born home, right? And they be like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like, it would be amazing, right? It would make for just so much better competition. So I'm on board with it. We'll have to see though.
It opens the lane for people who aren't as talented with their feet overseas for soccer. Not everybody can kick a ball the correct way. So I have this amazing strength to throw a ball. Well, there you
Yeah.
go. You can play football. So it'll definitely be fun to see. And as Modi here says, imagine the evolution of the sport innovation. That's why I
Yeah.
love soccer. The game isn't the same depending on what country you watch. It could be the game's played different, and that's why I love the World Cup, because you have so
Interesting.
many different styles of play coming against each other. What I love is Netherlands. They revolutionized the game. They played in triangles. They passed in triangles, and it's something the Chicago Bulls and Phil Jackson took and implemented into their game in the '90s. There's a whole thing
Yeah.
about it. I love that, and the Dutch started it. Now
I didn't
this
know
World
that the
Cup,
triangle offense came from that.
the Dutch football, Johan Cruyff. Yeah,
Interesting.
those teams, man.
Wow. Though that's a fabulous point, though, Alex. I mean, I love that point. Like, I love that point because, yes, absolutely. Like, every single country, when you think about it, they all have their little, like, patented way of playing the game, right? Like, Americans may do something one way. The Chinese might do something a different way. Even with, like, you can take it to, like, fight sports, like combat sports. Right, you see guys from the Russia area and the Caucasus, Dagestan. What are they good at? Their style of fighting, wrestling. You know what I mean? You go with the Mexicans, right? The people down there in South America and pretty much anybody Hispanic, right? What are they? Their big thing is like cardio and pace and striking and things like that. Americans, another one, wrestling is a big thing in America. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Every country has their own way and their own style of approaching things, right? And I would just love to see, to Asmodeus' point here, how they innovate with the game of American football. Like, imagine again, somebody from Russia or somebody from Asia or somebody from South America, wherever, Africa, right? Innovating the game like that. It would be crazy. It would be crazy. Man.
I'm thinking about, soccer countries, Brazil, flair, just straight flair is what I think of. England, more of that hard crunching tackles, real physical style of play. Spain, beautiful passing. You can just picture it now. So imagine that with football. And like now you think of the Rams, you think of the Niners, the McVays, the Shanahans. It's just more of that. It would just be their identity. So could be in for something real cool. Hopefully in the next couple of years. I'd be definitely down for that.
I would be so down for it. I'd be so down for it. I mean, I'd love to see the sport that I love actually grow and love to see that in my lifetime. I don't think I'm going to be able to see me and you, Alex. We might not be able to see much of it. Well, no, we're still young. We're still young. We because if I'm predicting like there. 20 years, we could be out there.
Hey, listen, when I was playing indoor, some co-ed, man, there'd be some 40, 50-year-old guys still out there still. Unc still got it. Why not us?
Why not us? Right. Hashtag why not us? Appreciate you, Asmodeus. No, great conversation there. Love that. Make sure you comment down below what you think about NFL and them expanding internationally and having all these games throughout the week. Let us know down below in the comments section. But okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode 408 of PRP here. If you're still sticking around with us, please be sure to leave a thumbs up on the video if you have not yet. And also subscribe to the channel if you are new. And please remember, giveaway episode next Thursday for all of our members. If you are a member here of the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, you qualify automatically for a chance to win some dope Ravens gear that we showed you guys earlier in the show. But yeah, outside of that, love you guys. Appreciate y'all. And with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out.
Real quick, what was it? Easy mentioned that hockey is one of the best sporting events to go to. I can agree. When you're at a hockey game, it goes by so quick. And don't let a fight happen. How loud it gets inside that arena when a fight occurs, love it. I absolutely love hockey in person. And then one more thing too, I've got to bring it up. I pray the Ravens is our year because I just experienced my team Arsenal won their Premier League. The feelings I feel, I wake up every day. The past couple of days I couldn't sleep the day we won it. I got no sleep. I cried. I couldn't imagine for Baltimore to get their third.
Man.
I think it's just like Arsenal. We've been so close. The Ravens have. It's coming. We've gotten called chokers. We've gotten that same label. We made changes. We got rid of Deadwood. I see the Ravens do the same thing. Made changes. Got rid of coaches. Got rid of players. I praise our year because we deserve it. And when it happens, it's going to be a great time. So just want to leave it there. Our time is close. Just keep the faith and trials and tribulations of seasons in sports.
Yeah. I mean, definitely going to be calling God for that one, for sure. But yeah, you can go ahead and take us out, though.
Oh, yes. Thank you all for coming through to this episode 408 of the Purple Rain Podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
Yes. And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. And as always, guys, may purple rain. Peace.